Yes, 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 we're back. It is another Tuesday evening, and you are listening to Soul Perspectives here on CKUT 90.3 FM. My name is Kim Dominique Ferguson, and we have another guest here for you this Tuesday evening, and she goes by the name Vanesa Montoya. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks
Hey.
for having me.
Huh?
Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. We had you last year.
That's right.
That's right.
hmm
And you, oh my God, you were one of the first black women to have a choreography done.
Uh,
Is
yeah,
that
well,
correct?
I was like first like female principal dancer
Right.
in a ballet company in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, there's a lot of first things
Right.
for me.
Right.
I also got into choreography as well.
Yeah. So you've been doing a lot since we last saw you, but I like to start off with how are you doing? How has these times been treating you?
I'm doing well, likely, because the time we're living right now is very stressful and it's almost a scene of a horror movie, almost like science fiction.
Absolutely.
So I consider myself very lucky because I am in good health and my loved ones are safe as well. But I've been quite, also like shocked, and I'm assuming like the rest of the world,
Yeah.
and quite anxious at times, and nervous about the situation and the future because
Mm-hmm.
everything just kind of the world just went upside down
Yeah.
in like question of like a day, like
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Yeah. March 16th, 2020. Everything changed. But I mean, if you think about it, the world has been through a lot of these kind of things before. You
Yes, that's
know,
right.
there was,
I,
I don't know how
I
far back it was, but there was a bubonic plague,
yes.
and every 5 to 10 years, there's another kind of H1N1 virus, the SARS virus. There's always some virus that's coming out. This one is the one of the few that was like more global and pandemic.
Yeah, I guess it's this kind of situation that it happens, it exists, is part of life, but
Yeah,
you never picture that you are going to be living through it.
yeah,
It's always the kind of things that happens to other people,
yep,
and you always hear about other people going through this kind of stuff or this kind of experiences,
right,
and it's just something that you don't expect is just going to happen to you too, and you're going to have to live through it and
yeah,
experience yourself. So I guess that's kind of the shock that
yeah,
a lot of people experience with the news.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you've been able to keep busy.
Somehow, yes. I don't know how it happened, but I've been quite occupied in different projects,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing. I believe it's because,
Let me cut you because I realize we didn't fully introduce you. So let's tell the people a bit about you, just to refresh them, because the people who were listening last year may not be listening now. So,
yes,
Vanessa, you're a dancer, you're a
yes,
choreographer, you're with the Grands Ballets Canadiens,
that's right.
and there's more to know about you.
I mean, well, that's what I do. Basically, I am a dancer professionally. That's how I earn my living. Also, I choreograph besides my dancer career.
Yeah,
But I spend most of my time full time as a dancer because I work full time for Le Grand Ballet Canadien, and it's pretty demanding job. Like we are basically like a 9 to 5 job every
right,
day, rehearsing and training, and once upon a time performing
right, right,
theaters.
right.
It's still we're standby right now, but yeah, that's my main job, and then choreography is another passion of mine, and all the other free time that I have, I use it for creation,
Mm-hmm.
to create pieces, also to teach dance.
Mm-hmm.
I work a lot with the École Supérieure de Ballet de Quebec, and also other schools and kind of like lucrative programs in Montreal.
Right.
So yeah, pretty much all my time just goes on art.
I got you. Living the artist life.
Yes.
Yeah. And because of COVID, obviously the Grands Ballets Canadiens had to shut its doors in terms of even rehearsal and performances, and looking,
Yes.
I'm guessing, at alternative ways of creating space for art, for dance.
Yeah, I mean, when the pandemic hit, we were basically like 4 days before opening a big premiere. The program was called Luna. It was the spring program.
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, it was the time where I was about to premiere a big piece that I create on the company for like a large amount of dancers.
Yeah.
And it was like a very, very special piece because it was inspired on African mythology and
Yeah.
Afro-Caribbean history and a lot of like spiritual concepts of voodoo. And I was using like Haitian music, like very, very different ballet piece that you will kind of imagine.
Yeah.
And definitely something like that was not done before in the company. So
Yeah.
it was very crushing.
Oh, I can
Just,
imagine.
we were doing general rehearsals of this program and everything was going great. And just as we finished rehearsal, we received the news that Place des Arts has been closed and everything is canceled and we just have to go home. And that was the beginning of a very painful 3 months of not knowing what's going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah. But luckily, we came back to work recently. It's been like a month almost.
Okay.
Very, very, very controlled environment. Like we have to have reduced groups of people. We cannot all dance together. Thank God we have this nice building where we work and we have separate studios.
Yeah.
It's been logistically it's been possible to do that.
Yeah.
But very exhaustive checking every day. Like wearing PPE,
The what?
which is wearing like protective equipment.
Okay.
Which is quite tricky for dancing because I mean it's not impossible, but it's not very comfortable.
No, it's not.
But we have to kind of do that until we can make sure it's safe for everyone to go back to a normal, let's say, routine.
Yeah.
Right now we have to try to create around the contraint, around
the restrictions.
the restriction. So we have to find creative ways to keep doing what we do, but yeah, not a lot of contact and trying to keep the distance. And if we are getting in proximity, we have to definitely be protected.
Yeah.
Just waiting because the theaters are not open yet. So only we can just train and be prepared. Because also it's not that you can put a production on stage just like that magically. No. You need time to rehearse and to prepare it. So that's what we're doing, trying to be in good shape and be ready to go when the time comes. We will go back.
So is it that you're prepping to do the same show that was canceled, or?
Yeah, a lot of the shows that were supposed to happen through March and May, June, they've been postponed.
Oh, okay, good.
So as soon as we can go back into performance mode, we're going to try to get back on track where we left off.
Yeah.
So we will be premiering this program that was just about to start. And then also we had invited companies coming to perform for the Grand. And that's a little bit more tricky because these companies come from Europe or elsewhere. So there's a lot of restrictions around that. So there's a lot of adjustment that had to be done probably for the next like year and a half or so, if not longer.
Yeah. But it's also, I find it to be a little bit, we should stop thinking about a normal way of interacting, a normal way of, and thinking about, okay, the future way to interact with people. Like, personally, I was thinking about this, and I was saying, it would be so cool if every flu season people were forced to wear masks outside and in the especially in public transit. It'd be so cool if it's like, no, you cannot come in here if you don't have on a mask during flu season, because the number one place that the flu gets like spread at a rapid rate is in the metro.
Yeah.
People cough, and they don't cough into their arm. They'll cough into their hand, put it on the wall. And,
Yeah, still today, still people are not great. I
with
mean, not
hygiene.
everybody. A lot of people are, I find they're being very thoughtful and aware, and
Yeah.
there's a sense of community, and everyone is kind of like assuming responsibility for their part in the picture. So that's very nice to see in this kind of time of this stress, people coming together also. It gives me hope in humanity that sometimes, we, with all the problems that we have in the world, we kind of lose a little bit of hope in that.
Yeah.
But I think it's still there. It's just that some people, I don't understand why, but they lack a lot of empathy, and they
compassion.
they don't really care much still.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure why, but
Yeah, I had a bit of a rant about that on Facebook, and I was kind of like, I'm tired of the fact that people take this for a joke. Even if it is a joke, like, lots of people are taking it seriously. Lots of scientific people have spoken about it. Okay.
it's how it's possible to take it like a joke when so many people died, so many
Exactly.
people are sick and, suffering. So many families have lost loved ones. So many people lost everything they had, all
Yep.
their jobs, their businesses, everything.
Yeah. Their business is still shutting down to this day.
Yeah, and more than it's gonna. I mean, we still don't know what's gonna happen in the fall, and just I don't understand. What do you need to see to prove that this is not a hoax? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think it's very difficult. I cannot blame those people that think like that when people that are in power also they are sending very mixed messages, or that's the kind of message they are giving to
Projecting.
the
Yeah.
public. Because this problem that happened in the U.S. is just so painful to watch
Yep.
the situation down there.
Yeah.
So if from the leader, from the people that are supposed to be supporting and guiding, the country, if they have these kind of messages, I can see why people start thinking on conspiracies and like I don't know what, like
Yeah.
making strange stories, because it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. That's why I listen to the people that actually know about it.
Yeah. 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 So you were without work for about 3 months, or
Yeah.
were you working outside of work?
Well, my regular job at Le Grand, we were off for that
Shut
amount of
down.
time.
Right.
But during that lockdown, I was working from home.
Okay.
I pretty much made my own dance studio at home. I moved all this furniture in some rooms and like just make space for dance.
Yeah.
And I was able to be teaching some classes, some
Okay.
workshops,
Right.
which was
Some
very
Zoom
nice. I was
workshops.
I was teaching just some free classes on Instagram because I knew there were a lot of students
Okay.
from the school that were also like they couldn't finish their
Their
class,
training. Yeah.
and just teaching people that were into dance and they were also locked down at home. So I will just make this like post and do Instagram live classes for anyone that wanted to join.
Yeah.
And also, I was offering some classes to some workshop in this school in Mexico.
Okay.
They have a special program for kids that don't have enough means uh, to pay for classes.
Mm-hmm.
So they give them scholarships, and they were doing this summer program specifically for them.
Okay.
So I was trying to help out with that a little bit. And then I was just enrolled in some choreographic projects um, because everyone tried to save the season in festivals and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
by going online and doing a digital version of it.
Yeah.
So things just picked up very quickly. Actually, I was super shocked because the beginning of the lockdown, I was like, what am I going to do
Yeah.
for the next, I don't know how long.
And then the universe answered.
It was just very, very quick. Like, I don't know, I was super shocked,
Yeah.
actually. Because also, I think there was another element that play into it is the Black Lives Matter movement
Right.
happening also at the
Before
same
you
time.
get into that, we're gonna segue into that, but we do gotta take a small break right now. We're gonna play a little bit
Okay.
of music and come right back. Just in case you're tuning in for the first time, we're speaking to Vanessa, who's a choreographer and dancer here in Montreal, works for the Grands Ballets Canadiens, and she has been working throughout COVID doing art, which is very, very ironic because, art is always seen as this thing that you're not supposed to do. But apparently, she has figured out a trick. So we're going to learn what that trick is and her involvement with BLM right after these musical interludes.